video blog to talk about and document the process of deploying a weather balloon with a Trackuino and a camera. So my overall plans are to get I think 120 gram or 1,200 gram weather balloon with a parachute. Haven't decided on the size yet of the parachute. Put together a styrofoam container and put an Arduino, Trackuino project together, as well as the camera, the Canon hack firmware on a cheaper Canon camera, or possibly a GoPro if I could find one used. Whole project's running a little bit more money than I would have liked to have something that's somewhat disposable. So I'm going to start this series. This is the beginning of what you need to do and how you got started. I'm doing this because I see a lot of people have put bits and pieces together of it together. Some of it's better than others. None of it's 100% complete. So I'm going to try to document in excruciating detail what it took and how I did it, so that others can learn from my challenges and possibly do better. I'd like to reach over 100,000 feet, but I'd like to get closer to the world record one day. But I think that's going to take special balloon material. But if it takes off and we do good, then maybe we continue to research if we can keep recovering it. So let's start with some of the things you're going to need. It's taken me so far about a month and a half to get to this point. If you want to do a Trackuino, you're going to need your ham radio license. There's different levels. You can go Google this. This is not hard stuff. I think if you're at the point where you're watching this video, then chances are you can get that technician's license fairly quick. So I suggest that you get an iPad app or the equivalent. The one I used is by Roy Watson, and I actually ended up getting my general license at the same time, and ended up buying a high frequency ham radio because the high frequency stuff really interested me. So right off the bat, you should start studying for your technician's license if you don't already have it, or your general license. Technician's license, if you're at this point, again, you shouldn't have any problem getting that. The next thing you're going to want to do is order your Trackuino circuit boards. This took about 2.5 weeks to get. It was very easy, and I will make a video on actually ordering the parts from OSH, which is who I ordered it from. A couple of things I would have changed about this circuit board, but we'll cover that when we go over the process of ordering it. The other thing that you should really consider, if you've never soldered surface mount devices before, is a surface mount training course. This is the more expensive one, a Linko. And I'll tell you, I started out with a cheap Chinese model, but I'm not actually able to make this work. It's supposed to blink a little LED light that I've actually unsoldered here. I've checked all the resistors, all the capacitors, all the connections. So the only thing I don't know how to check is the integrated circuit here and this transistor. So I really don't know what the problem is. I do have a video on that as well. I did learn a whole bunch from doing this, but I really wanted to get a simple circuit working. So this is going to be my pre-Trackuino project. This will allow you to get your surface mount devices soldered on in a fairly professional looking manner. It's been a couple of days since I've looked at this, and I'm actually quite impressed with how professional. If I showed this to somebody, they may not necessarily know that I did it in my garage. All right. So the next thing you should do is source your parts, and I want to put together a list of where I got my parts and what they are. There's quite a number of them, and if you want to order from China, you can get quite a bit of good deals by using Amazon and eBay. So just to give you an idea, you won't be able to order the Radiometrics HX1 until you get your ham license. And even after I took my test, it took almost 2 weeks to get into the FCC system. So it was, it took a while. And Radiometrics actually emailed me and wanted the call sign. So they will ask you for it. So that is the Radiometrics 144390, which is the protocol that APRS, or the frequency APRS transmits on. Some of the optional things, we'll go over the optional things that I did. A lot of these things aren't completely optional. You will find some different values for the resistors out there. I'm trying to stick with what was published on the site, but you may have trouble getting them. I believe from my readings and actually from prior integrated circuit experience, you can vary those values of the resistors as long as the end result is the same. Don't email me or post me and ask me what the formula is. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'm sure you could actually look it up because it's all about the voltage regulator that's on there. Okay, so I chose for my GPS. You should order your SparkFun GPS right away as well. That's one of the bigger components, and all your smaller components. So some of these things I actually ended up ordering from China and they haven't shown up, but I was making an order for something else that I'll show you from SparkFun, and they had these, so I went ahead and ordered them because it would have been the last component that was holding me up. I did order some SMA to PL239 connectors so that I could potentially hook the Trackuino up to an antenna analyzer. So at one point I will make a video on making the quarter wave ground plane antenna. That is the target antenna for now. In the meantime, so that I could test this project, I actually bought a very cheap 2 meter, I think this is actually a 2 meter 70 centimeter antenna. So it is a Nagoya, N-A-G-O-Y-A. The part number is NA771, and I'll list that. I think it was about $9. And then here is your high grade GPS. I haven't actually, obviously I haven't turned this one on. I've had other ones that I've played with the Trackuino or the Arduino before. So one thing to know about these is that they take a while to get their initial position. So you've got to be patient at first. You may actually be working. Keep that in mind when you start. This is the antenna that I bought. Other people are using different antennas. My intention is to try to keep the weight down as much as possible. So I may go without these connectors that I suggest in order to just do straight wires. We'll see what happens. My thought is that the lighter I keep it, the higher I can get up. Because I'll need less helium, so there'll be more room for helium to grow, and it will go higher so that it can expand and eventually burst. Tools. I would imagine if you're looking at this, then you at least have a soldering iron. Now, I have a fairly nice digital soldering iron. It's not super nice, but it does get hot very quick, and it does not, if you put it up against something that absorbs the heat, it will back itself up and add more heat. That's pretty important. The cheaper pencil ones are not so good. They take like 15 minutes to actually get up to temperature. This thing's up to temperature in about maybe 40 seconds. Now I have a nice vise holder that I actually got on, our circuit board holder I got in clearance at Radio Shack. It's a pan vise. These are actually kind of expensive. Got it for 20 bucks. So I do have a nice one. Some things you can use to hold your circuit board if you don't want to shell out for a circuit board holder. Actually, when I was researching surface mount device soldering on Google, saw a guy using what he called blue tack, looked like putty, maybe even plumber's putty, just to hold the circuit board down. I promise you, you will need the circuit board held down securely and while you try to solder. Did go out and get myself a good set of anti-static tweezers. I'm finding from my first attempt that I really like straight tweezers and the angle tweezers. So angle tweezers to put the chip down, straight tweezers to hold it in place while you solder it. So speaking of soldering, some things that would be nice to have. These aside, those are not used now. Some flux from MG Chemicals. This is No Clean Flux, catalog number 8341, 10 mils. And then solder paste from MG Chemicals. This is SN63PB37, catalog number 4860P35G. A brush, and I'll show you what this is for in a minute, and some solder wick, help correct some of your over soldering mistakes. So this brush, I got Chemtech chemical wipes and 99.9% pure rubbing alcohol. You won't find this in the store. It looks like the most you can find is maybe 90%. I could find 50 and 70%. The Chemtech wipes are pretty cheap. If you're ordering from Amazon, you have Prime. I don't know if it's necessary, but it is nice to have. And it's nice to have the right stuff. Again, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you understand that the right tools are everything. I brought out some wire dikes and some very flat-nosed pliers to be able to bend the leads on the circuit board. The brush, like I meant to tell you, is that you can brush on the alcohol, get it underneath the boards, because that solder paste tends to get underneath the boards, and it could make a connection. You know, those surface mount technology pieces are far smaller than I thought they would be. Speaking of size, I have found these to be invaluable when working with the surface mount technology. Now, one thing to know about these is that the focal point is quite close to your face. So for me to focus on this paper, I need to be right about here. So your face will be down in whatever you need to look at. This light up here, very cool. All right, two last things. Have a grounding strap. This will prevent your body from building up a static charge and destroying one of your ICs. There is a resistor Q1 on the Trackuino. It is discontinued. There is one other person I know of that has a set of these and will sell them to you, and I will probably list them in the comments. I have 4, so I had to order 3 boards, Trackuino boards, and I may sell those off. I may keep them depending on how cool this project is, and you know, if I lose it and I want to make another attempt. But I may have 30 coming in. I ordered them from China. Problem with ordering from China is that it takes 2 to 6 weeks. I've had stuff literally take months just magically show up. I end up getting refunds on the stuff, and then it shows up. One other thing, you're going to need some way to listen to your Trackuino. So initially I thought I would buy a handheld 2 meter 70 centimeter transmitter. They won't have APRS in it. I haven't gotten into this real deep. I've been able to listen to a couple of ham stations talk. This is the Hack RF software-defined radio, which appealed to me after getting into the ham radio license stuff. You get to really learn a lot about how the radio waves really work. You do need to be a little smart to use this successfully. So if you're not interested in really focusing on your attention on some of this, you may want to just get a 2-meter radio. If you can afford one with APRS, that'd be really cool. Stuff I don't have yet, an antenna analyzer. Ultimately, I think I probably should just go to the ham club and see if I can find someone that'll let me use it. I've been there once. The guys are real nice. They want to help you. So I'm probably sure that I can, get somebody's help for free. I personally am a do-it-yourself kind of guy. I tend to buy my own tools and not borrow them. Don't like people borrowing mine, so I don't tend to borrow other people's. All right, last thing, voltmeter. You run into trouble, you will need this. Hopefully we don't run into trouble and need this. Important to have though. If you're doing this, you should already have it. All right, so the next video, I will link my unsuccessful video of this one together. Tonight, it's pretty late. I've been out to dinner and I'm already tired, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. I really want to see the Trackuino work. I was really excited to get all the parts today.